Hello and welcome to Deck GOTY edition, where we talk about games of this year that we enjoyed, and this section is for old games we played this year, because it's sometimes good to revisit the classics you've never actually played.
Or the classics that you have played and feel like playing again.
Yeah, that's also good too. Although with the amount of games I can't afford to play games more than once. I need to get 100% completion ratio and everything.
Okay, let's go down memory lane.
Let's go down memory lane. What is the hardest game you've ever played in your entire life?
Snakebird.
Well, I have something harder than Snakebird to start the show off with. It's Ninja Gaiden Sigma for the PlayStation 3.
Okay.
Which is... Ninja Gaiden Sigma is the easier version of Ninja Gaiden Black, which is the easier version of Ninja Gaiden.
Okay.
So essentially a double... and it's still one of the hardest games I've ever played. You know the old Ninja Gaiden games, like the 2D ones. Well... You basically play a ninja and you slaughter demons and other ninjas. That's essentially it. That's the entire premise of it. But Ninja Gaiden, like Sigma, is... it's a game that actually hates you. And I'm like, this is gonna sound like, oh my god, it's so hard, I can't handle it, and all that. No, it's actually... Here's how it is. God Hand is a game that's very hard. But God Hand likes you. It wants you to succeed. Like, it's very angry when you don't succeed, but essentially it wants you to be a better person.
It's like a strict parent.
Yeah, it's a very strict parent. Dark Souls is like a very demanding but happy sibling. Like, Dark Souls is very hard, but it doesn't want you to lose hope. It wants you to succeed. Like, Dark Souls thinks you can do it. And even it doesn't explicitly say, like, when you finish a tutorial in Dark Souls, it actually tells you, hey, good job, you did that well, keep going. And that's kind of the attitude you kind of get when you play Dark Souls. Ninja Gaiden is a strict teacher that fucking hates you. When you start Ninja Gaiden, the first NPC you find, a dead ninja, when you examine it, it says, oh, this ninja had a lot of holes in his defenses, he could never hope to survive in this world. Then when you find another ninja, you examine him and it says, oh, this ninja failed to protect his home. Did he carry the thoughts of his failure back into the abyss when he died? And stuff like that. And Ninja Gaiden essentially expects that you do your best. It expects that you succeed, that if you don't deliver it, it's gonna beat the shit out of you, and you don't deserve to succeed. You don't deserve Ninja Gaiden if you don't succeed, if you don't do your best. That's essentially the attitude of the entire game. And it's okay because the combat system is for most part good. That's why I'm actually playing it. I wanted to actually check. I never played the first Ninja Gaiden. I wanted to check out how the combat kind of works, and it's really smooth. The camera is a motherfucking bitch that can't actually focus on what you need it to. But yeah, that's... If you like hard games, I recommend playing it if you haven't. It's just that I don't think it has a healthy relationship with the player. I think you should love your players.
I haven't played it, I don't know much about it, I don't have anything to say or add.
Okay, let's go with something you have played. Several games you have played. Have you ever heard of the franchise called Resident Evil? Also known as Biohazard in Japan.
Man, I have such a complicated relationship with Resident Evil games. Like, yeah, that's my Facebook status. Complicated relationship with Resident Evil.
Oh? Well, did it get complicated after or before the movies?
Oh, no, there are no movies.
Well, what's your complicated relationship with Resident Evil HD Remake?
HD Remake, I had so much fun with. We were very mean about that game, but in the same way that you're mean about something you actually, like, the same way you're mean about a younger sibling. You love them, but you kind of take the piss out of them now and then.
being a younger sibling, I take offense to that, but okay.
Like, I Resident Evil will always, always, always hold a special place in my heart. And the HD remake was a lot of fun.
They are just very like easy games to just jump into and play for a few evenings.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not particularly well. They're difficult. They were difficult when they were new and when people actually didn't know how to play that type of game. But now it's just kind of like easy to go back into it, and it still gets tense, and it's kind of has this very nice pacing of, you take a few steps, there are a few zombies, then all of a sudden dogs, then zombies, then oh my god, there's a giant fine monster, and then Barry shows up and saves you, and you're like, oh, Barry.
Kill stealer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun with it. It was great. I mean, there were things that frustrated me, like the constant backwards and forwards and backtracking, but I can forgive it.
Yeah, it's kind of like in one location, so you have to go around in it.
Yeah.
It's basically the same as the damn police station in Resident Evil 2, which we also played this year.
Yep, which we also played. We streamed that. That was fun times.
Yeah, that was our special Halloween stream. And I love how we got stuck during the self-destruct sequence. Like, oh my god, the entire lab is gonna blow, and we forgot to pick up one stupid item.
Oh. But yeah, again, it is a game that, it holds a special place in my heart, and I can forgive it its flaws because it's Resident Evil.
Can you forgive Resident Evil 4, though?
Fuck Resident Evil 4. Fuck Resident Evil 4. Okay, so my relationship with Resident Evil 4 goes all the way back to when it first came out as a Nintendo. Was it a Wii exclusive? It was a Wii exclusive.
GameCube.
But, no, okay, sorry, yeah. Well, GameCube and Wii, but yeah, it was a Nintendo exclusive, and I played it then. And I really enjoyed the first little bit of it. And then it turned into my least fun type of thing ever, which is an escort quest. And then there was a fight that I rage quit the game over and never went back to.
But it solved the escort quest.
No, it really fucking didn't. Okay, so you could put her in a fucking box. The thing is, if you didn't pay attention to the fucking box, they would find her, haul her out of the box, and bug her off again. So, no.
How did they... Like, I didn't know they could find her in the box. I just...
Maybe I'm just that fucking bad at Resident Evil 4. But anyway, there came a fight. There came a fight that made me rage quit the game all those years ago, and I never looked back. And then I picked it up again this year. I think I got it as part of, like, a Humble Bundle or something, but I started playing it again this year. And, like, I didn't run into any of the issues that I did the first time round. Like, by the way, the PC port, the controls are dick. The controls are absolute dick. Right? And I overcame dick controls and, like, didn't have any problems with any of the escort bullshit and was doing really fine. I was the queen of fucking headshotting shit. And then came that fight, the fight that made me rage quit. And, like, I had to, like, I knew this was coming up, so I, like, saved my game, and I had to go away and...
It's the Krauser fight, right?
No, it's not. It's the man with the hands in the cage when you first get to the castle.
Wait? Wait, what, in the castle?
When you first get to the castle, there's the jail, there's the guy that's in there, you wake him up, you've got to be quiet, you've got to distract him by shooting bells, all of that bullshit.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so that's the fight that made me rage quit. So I got to that point, and I'm like, right, this is coming up. I'm going to take some deep breaths, and I'm going to do this. And I did it first fucking time.
Oh, awesome.
I did it first time, and then promptly turned round and friendly fired my escort in the face with a shotgun, at which point I went, no, fuck this shit, and I haven't played it since.
Wow.
So
salty much?
Little bit. She got, in my defense, I was trying to shoot the guy behind her. Normally she ducks, and she did not duck. So she took a shotgun to the face and died, and I went, well, fuck this shit. And I haven't played it since.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna completely blame her, because I stared down the barrel of your shotgun when we played Resident Evil 5 this year.
You spent a lot of time staring down the barrel of my shotgun, let's face it. Friendly fire is fun!
Yeah, so yeah, we played Resident Evil 5 as well this year, because we're Resident Evil score attack, I don't know.
I really don't want to talk about Resident Evil 5 because while we were playing and streaming Resident Evil 5, I possibly had the single worst gaming moment of my entire life.
You mean the single biggest panic attack I've ever witnessed on a stream?
Single-handedly pushed back the cause for acceptance of women who play video games to be taken seriously by fucking years, all because of one... I don't even want to talk about it. I'm still traumatized.
I'm going to talk about it if you're not going to talk about it. So essentially what happened was I realized that you have an absolutely crippling fear of crocodiles. And I found that out when we entered the crocodile section, which I didn't figure would be a big deal. And I was like, I also like overreacted a bit there. I was like, oh shit, crocodiles, go back. But I was kind of like phoning it and, you know, being entertaining. I thought you were playing along and all that. And then I was all, okay, let's go. And you're like, no. Wait, what? Are you serious? Like, you lost your shit. So I have never played with someone who lost their shit genuinely that much over anything in the game. But since GD is gonna ignore me and not respond, I'm just gonna tell you to check out the video, which I'm gonna link in the description below. Where she loses her fucking shit.
The worst bit of it is, like, is the stuff that you don't hear because I was using push to talk.
Yeah, and you were so panicked that you forgot to press push to talk.
Like, I think my housemate was pretty convinced the neighbours were gonna come downstairs and phone in a domestic disturbance.
Yeah. Oh god. I think the worst part was I was just like, I told you, look, just follow me and it'll all be fine. And then a crocodile spawned to my left, and I turned around, reloaded, and I heard you screaming again. And all of a sudden, like, you weren't behind me. You were rushing so far ahead. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing up there? Like, of course you're gonna die. And then you just started crying when the crocodile ate you.
It was a horrible experience.
It was fantastic. And when I make a video game, I'm just gonna put in a build that has crocodiles in, and I'm gonna send it to you without telling you.
I hate you.
But look, tell me this. How can you not handle crocodiles, but you can handle space Nazis?
Oh god, I can handle space Nazis.
I think space Nazis are more terrifying.
So yeah, a game that I played a hell of a lot this year. I'm actually disappointed that I didn't play it last year when it came out and couldn't make it my game of the year last year, is Wolfenstein: The New Order. Oh my god, what a game. What a game. Like, the atmosphere, the world building, the way the weaponry handles. I freaking love that game to death. Everything about it is brilliant. I don't have a single complaint about it. The only thing that I don't like is the same thing I don't like about every FPS, which is eventually it does give me a headache, and I can forgive it with Wolfenstein because everything about it is so bloody good.
I actually have a few complaints about Wolfenstein. I actually talked about it on a podcast with Johnny back in the day. But my only complaint is that the game sometimes assumes that you're really stupid as a player. Like the fight with the London Overseer, that like big mech thing that you fight under. I wanted to figure out how to kill that boss because I like figuring that out. But your little compadre keeps talking to you via walkie-talkie and keeps telling you, oh, okay, now shoot it in the glowing bit. Okay, now go into cover. Okay, now get ready and shoot it back in the glowing bit. The thing is, though,
I could totally forgive that because I wasn't paying attention at that point. I was going, I've got 2 guns and this is the best thing ever. Fuck whatever you have to say. I'm not listening.
Yeah, I kind of like to play it more like,
I love the fact that, like, of all the English-speaking characters, they subtitled the Scottish guy.
Yeah, it's good. I actually played it without subtitles at all, because I the only 2 foreign languages.
Fergus is great. He's brilliant.
Polish. Yeah, the only 2 foreign languages it uses is like Polish and German, and since I speak German, I went with like without subtitles, which kind of led to a few interesting scenarios, because when you're on a train, which is my single favorite scene in the game, like the little the Nazi grandma asks you to sit and talk to her, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ignore this person because I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that, and then just like a super soldier stands in front of you, and she insists that you sit with her, and that entire talk, the entire discussion with her, like of her determining how Aryan you are, is like fantastic.
I love that scene. Oh, I just love that game.
It's, God, like in that scene when she asks you to choose one of two pictures.
It's so tense.
Do you know that you can actually go for her gun?
The thing is, I didn't know that you could until after.
Yeah, you can go for the gun.
Because I was so focused on picking the right fucking pictures. And that is good game design.
You can go for the gun, and you can shoot her, but then everybody else will kill you before you get to shoot anything else. Which is still great, because most games wouldn't let you even do that. Like, it gives you the satisfaction of killing her.
But the narrative has built up in such a way that you don't even realise the option is there. Like, you're so focused on, like, picking the right answers from the cards that you don't even realise the gun is an option. And that is great. That is, like, it's really good storytelling. To bring you to a point where you're so focused on one thing that even though there's something completely different that you can do, you're not even aware of it because your focus has been very, very firmly put in this one place, but put there in a way that, like, has been entirely through the game's own storytelling. And that's brilliant. I love that.
Did you play the Old Blood, the expansion?
I haven't played it yet.
Old Blood is kind of like, has a different atmosphere. New Order has like this campy tragedy, like Max Payne games. Like, it's super pulpy and super over the top, but it has like kind of this in-universe like acknowledgement of everything. Like, oh, this is still like serious and going down. Well, Old Blood is kind of more campy,
okay,
but also still good. It's like campy Nazi horror theme.
It is on my playlist.
Yeah, you should. You'll probably.
I will play it. Yeah, I'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, and if anybody listening to this hasn't tried Wolfenstein New Order,
it's probably going to end up like, you'll probably be able to pick it up for like £3 in the Steam sale at some point. So
yeah,
if you haven't played it, do get it.
It's one of the best shooters in the past few years, I'd say.
Oh, definitely, by a long shot.
Yeah, up there with Serious Sam 3. Anyway, I don't have a segue for this, so I'm just gonna say we played El Shaddai this year too.
We did play El Shaddai this year, and you know what? I still have fan service El Shaddai wallpaper. I love that game on my desktop. I love that game.
Oh, yeah. We need more like fan service of biblical and religious textbooks.
Yeah,
I think. Just like I have a sexy Buddha or something like that.
El Shaddai is one of the most visually striking games that I have played in a long time. It's beautiful. Yeah. It is absolutely beautiful. And it does so many varied things and so many bonkered things, or so many completely bonkers things. And so many, like, it just goes from one thing to another, and it just does it all so beautifully. And I mean, I have criticisms about that game, but the style of it, the art direction, the kind of like completely at odds with each other at times art direction. That's not one of them. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it has like this consistent artistic vision of how that world looks.
But even when it's inconsistent, which it is quite regularly, it's still consistent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like every location is severely different from the previous one, but it still has like this consistency where you can kind of say, yeah, this isn't like,
it's still part of the same
this
world.
This is new. Yeah, but it's in the same universe. Yeah, they only like we already talked about this at length, so we won't focus too much on it. But it's still like the combat sometimes overstays its welcome.
It gets a little bit boring. Well, it gets a little bit repetitive. It's never boring because it's always so bloody stylish and beautiful.
Yeah,
but it overstays its welcome sometimes. But this, it's a very beautiful game, I'll even.
But you know what?
Do you know what? I don't even bloody have a PS3 anymore, and I still picked up a copy of it.
Aww.
Just to have. Just to have.
Well, tell me, have you picked up a copy of the other fantastic game we played called Wheelman?
I haven't.
Why not? That's like, Wheelman is probably, I cannot even say that with a straight face. No, it's pretty bad.
Wheelman was... Wheelman's a mediocre game with a couple of good ideas, and Vin Diesel, who is a legend. Wheelman is what happens when someone with an awful lot of money decides, I want to like play myself in I want to make a video game about me.
Wheelman is what happens when you pay someone to make a fan game of you. That's basically it.
Wheelman is just, and there's some brilliantly bonkers moments in it, like Metal Gear Car. That is vehicular stealth is the best bloody thing about that game, and then the rest of it's kind of awful.
Yeah, I like that moment was probably the best for me, but
there's the bugs. Oh, the beautiful bugs.
Oh yeah, I sure loved my PS3 locking up and not being sure where it's gonna start again, because I actually like when the game locked up and then I restarted my console, it completely went bonkers. It wouldn't even start. And I was like, holy shit, like, is this game gonna actually kill me?
Oh, Wheelman, yeah. We played it, we had fun with it, but like, it's not a good game.
Yeah, it's there on the channel for posterity's sake, so future generations know what we had to go through. So if somebody ever says, oh, PS3 only had good games, remember back in the day 20 years ago when PS3 was great, and you just point them to our LP. Yeah.
Great, you said.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's insert segue here for the secret world, because again I don't have anything for this, but hey, it's an MMO you play.
It's an MMO that I play a hell of a lot of, or I'm taking a bit of a break from it now, but this year I played a fuck ton of it.
And you have not made one video about it.
Yeah, I did.
Oh crap, you did.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you need to do like professional video with narration and pointing out things in the game.
Okay, we talked about it. We might do it at some point. Like it's my go-to MMO. I've played it since closed beta. The world building is amazing. The atmosphere is fantastic. The story is brilliant. And I don't know, like, I mean, what can you say about an MMO? MMOs are one of those things that are always going to divide people. People are always going to love it and hate it, or hate it. People are going to love it. People are going to bitch about it. People are going to fanboy it. But honestly, like, it's a game. I take breaks from it. I keep coming back to it. I enjoyed it, and I play it a lot.
I'd say that Secret World is the best single-player MMO I have ever played. And I don't mean that as an insult, by the way. I think that the quality of the quests and the NPCs and the writing in that game is miles above a lot of single-player RPGs.
Yeah, I mean, the writing, the NPCs, the voice acting, the atmosphere, the audio is amazing. It is miles above a lot of single-player RPGs, by a long shot.
Yeah, a lot of the things in those, like, let me try it. I played, I had like 100 hours in the Secret World. I haven't gotten to the end of it, but I really enjoyed what I played of it. Like, kind of the good thing in the Secret World is it has this framework, but it goes outside of its framework for some of its content. Like, you have investigation missions, which are basically these ARGs, like alternate reality games, where you have to actually go online and visit sites to decode stuff that exists in the game. Yeah, you have to go outside the game to figure out stuff.
Like, I've never played a game where I've had to spend so much time, like, cross-referencing against, like in, like, within one mission, you can end up cross-referencing biblical references against musical scores against Romanian.
Yeah.
Or there's another mission where, like, it actually, like, in order to solve it, it gives you like origami diagrams, and in order to actually solve the mission, you need to actually like copy out the diagrams, make the origami, then transcribe the Japanese phrases and get them translated.
Holy shit, I did not actually get to that one. Holy shit.
Yeah. So, like, it takes you right outside the game, and it's brilliant. It is fantastically well thought out.
Yeah, I'd recommend it, since it doesn't have a
it suffers from a lot of the same things that other MMOs do. Content updates aren't fast enough. People end up at endgame with not really knowing what to do next. It's had a massive endgame update this year. There's a lot of new endgame stuff that's just come out. A lot of it is not being completed yet. We're working on it. But, it is getting those updates. The next update is due out within the next few weeks, which is going to be a bit more story. It's going to have a PvP update. But you know what, guys? Like, it's a buy-to-play model. So you buy the base game, that gets you almost all of the story. It gets you almost all of the story up to a certain point. It gets you, like... You're not restricted in abilities. You're not restricted in what gear you can acquire. You've got access to almost all of the dungeons. You've got access to almost all of the endgame content. There's a few that are DLC, but that's where their additional revenue comes in, is DLC. So
yeah, and if you like old or new World of Darkness, or if you like Vampire Bloodlines, the video game,
if you like conspiracy theories, if you like Lovecraftian horror, if you like Indiana Jones style pulp, if you like Soviet super soldiers.
Yeah, it covers all of that.
And what's really easy, it's really easy to get into because the lore of the game is the lore of our world. There's no obtuse, made up bullshit lore. It's based around like conspiracy theories and mythology and things like that. So it's really easy to get into the lore as well, because a lot of it you probably already know.
Yeah, who like the boogeyman is, or who Egyptian gods are, and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of it you probably already know.
Yeah, I definitely recommend people try it out. I mean, it's probably also going to be on Steam sale. Definitely get it.
It always goes on sale on Steam. Plus, you can get collector editions on Steam as well that include a lot of the story-based DLC as well.
Just don't play Dragon, because Dragon are shit.
Yeah. Anyway, what MMO have you been playing?
Well, I've been suckered into playing an MMO again this year. I played Final Fantasy XIV earlier this year, and then I was like, if I want to finish everything I want to finish, I need to play this game every day for 5 hours for the next 6 months, and that's a bit too demanding for me. So I dropped it. And then this month, they did you get 4 free days. If you want to, if you haven't subscribed in a while, you can play for 4 days for free. And I took that offer, tried the game out, and was like, this is still pretty interesting. Oh my god, why am I already subscribing back again? And now I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. And I like it. I think
MMOs are like crack.
They are like crack.
And like MMO studios are like your dealers. Like, here, have a free one. It's on us.
I think Final Fantasy. Oh god, you're right. I think Final Fantasy XIV is probably one of the better Final Fantasies I've played in a while, because it has this old school high fantasy Final Fantasy vibe to it. It's not like post Final Fantasy VII angsty Final Fantasy. It's not that kind of Final Fantasy story. It's more like, classical. And in that regard, it's really good, and the game feels good. It's like super polished because it somehow manages to be a subscription model MMO still, and it really, really shows. Like you've said, the Secret World doesn't get, people complain about infrequent contents because it's buy to play. Guild Wars 2 also had the kind of similar content problem, and every month of Final Fantasy XIV, I just see content updates, patches, and here's something new again, here's something new, oh, now we have a massive expansion as well. And there's always stuff to do. It feels nice, and you can have your own house, and you can ride your own chocobo, and you can paint his feathers pink, and make him wear a black mage hat, and I am a sucker for those things. I don't know. It's just like I'm a sucker for that.
I can tell.
Yeah, give me a pink bird I can ride and have
And
like
you are
chocobo
you are a
music
happy
playing in the
bear.
back. Yeah, I'm a happy bear. They still, you know. Here's one massive complaint: the bear mount in Final Fantasy XIV is a class exclusive, and it's a class I didn't level, and you have to play endgame content. And it's basically they give a bear mount to tanks to encourage them to encourage people to play tanks, and I'm playing DPS because I didn't want the commitment to be a tank.
I guess you're gonna have to play a tank.
I'm gonna have to play. I'm leveling up my DPS now. I'm trying to establish myself back in the Final Fantasy XIV universe. You know, I'm a miner as well. I'm also a weaver, and I'm doing stuff like that. But when I'm done with that, I'm probably gonna have to spend months until I get my damn bear mount. But let's go to something that's an MMO, except it's not. But it's like Diablo with guns. It's Borderlands 2, a game I have frequently shat on and now decided to play.
Yeah.
I don't know why we decided to play it. I think I got it in a fucking humble bundle.
I think it was in a humble bundle, and it was
yeah,
okay, we might as well.
Yeah, it was literally we might as well. And then we bought the bundle a few months past, and we were like, hey, you want to play this? Yeah, sure,
let's play
why not? What do you think of Borderlands 2? I already shat on it a few dozen times. What do you think about it?
You know what? You see, I love it as a game that you jump into, you blow off some steam, you horribly, horribly shoot the shit out of everything around you, and then you go away again feeling a little bit better about life.
Yeah, that's... Here's why I played Borderlands 1, and based on my hate for Borderlands 1, I hated 2 and whatever, anything Borderlands was. And I didn't like Borderlands because I kind of want the whole package to be somewhere there to work for me, but I do put a lot of emphasis on story and dialogue and whatnot. And I don't care if the story is just oh, shoot a bunch of shit. I like those kind of stories. But the humor in Borderlands 1 was so fucking cringeworthy. Claptrap is probably the single worst video game character I have ever. Claptrap is worse than Bubsy for me. Do you know how bad Bubsy is?
Fuck off, Claptrap.
Yeah. And Borderlands 2, it's you know, it does this joke where it's it makes a joke, and then it's hey, nudge, nudge, hey, that was funny, wasn't it, guy? Ha ha ha. And then it doesn't see you, it sees that you're not laughing, and it quickly moves on to the next joke, and but this was prime material, right? And then after 50 jokes, it nails one, and it's oh, yeah, that was pretty funny, and then it goes back to 50 shitty ones as well.
Yeah.
But I know what's so
it's one you pick it up, you play it, you go away again, and it's fun. It's
Look,
harmless fun.
You just need a grenade.
Yeah.
That explodes
into
9
several
grenades. Which then explode into several more grenades.
And they stick to things, and they rain acid, and when you can throw 2 of those at once, it satisfies a very deep primal need for mass destruction.
Yeah, and it does have nice guns. I admit
it has
that.
some fucking ridiculous ones.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good fun.
Yeah, but on the topic of guns, have you ever heard of a little small game for consoles called Destiny?
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it, and I've never played it.
So, do you legitimately not know much about it?
Am I the only person on Earth that doesn't?
No, that's fine, because look, until Destiny was released, so it had this massive pre-release campaign, and until it was actually released, and I asked the person, hey, what kind of game actually is it? I actually didn't know whether it was an MMO, a co-op shooter, a single-player shooter with a multiplayer combat. I had no idea what exactly it was. I only know it had shooting involved, and space. And then it turned out it's kind of like a hub-based MMO that you can play on your own, kinda, but it's still it's super strange.
Okay.
It's kind of like this Borderlands, but you have a hub where everybody can hang out as well.
Okay.
And if you go outside, you can meet other people.
Okay.
So it's that, and it's in space. And I bought it because it was super cheap. And I figured, I might as well see what the big deal with Destiny is, and it's kind of okay. I played for a few hours. I'm probably gonna play it after we're done recording. What time is it? Oh god, maybe I won't. I'll play it again, but it's a very laid back game. It's very grab the controller, lie down on your couch, and just go and shoot. Because it has aim assist, it has very straightforward objectives, and it's just like, yeah, it's chill to play this for a few hours, then go do something else, and then come back in a few days and play again. So it's that kind of thing. I think if I kind of like try to brute force it and go all, oh god, I gotta get to the cap, I gotta get to level cap, I gotta go do this event, oh my god. If I went like that, I'd probably burn out and hate it.
Yeah.
But this way it's like, yeah, I don't care. I have like this massive revolver, and I can punch shit in the face and one-shot them. And
what more do you need?
That. What more do you need?
Exactly.
So, that's a very relaxing game, and a game that's extremely stressful by comparison, which I also played this year, and I streamed it, and you played it as well.
Well,
but
I'll tell you about my experiences with it when you.
But yes, we played The Evil Within.
Well, I tried to.
You tried. So
you explain your experiences first of all, then I'll explain my experience with The Evil Within.
Okay, so I streamed that game. We both got it roughly the same time, I think. And I streamed the game. You didn't want to watch it or take part in it.
Yeah, well, I couldn't because I was away with work for the better part of a month in July.
But we didn't want to do it together anyway because you wanted to play it on your own as well. So I grabbed 2 more people, Kovic, Nielina, semi-regulars, on the stream, and we played through the whole thing on the stream actually, except for the first chapter, which I played alone to see if I liked the game at all. And it's made by the same guy who did Resident Evil 1, Shinji Mikami, who is one of my favorite game developers of all time. And yeah, it's like a survival horror Resident Evil 4, except when it turns into a very shooty Resident Evil 4, but then goes back into a stealthy Resident Evil 4, but then, oh no, wait, we're still a shooty game. And it kind of goes like in this schizophrenic identity crisis of not knowing whether it's a stealth horror or an action horror, but it kind of stays somewhere in the middle. But the first part is stealth, and you had trouble with that.
Now, I don't, as a general rule, enjoy stealth. It's not in my personality. I am a kick open a door, guns blazing, preferably one in each hand kind of gal. And I rage quit Evil Within after about 10 minutes. And I haven't gone back. Because... Did you shoot an escortee in the face again? I didn't shoot an escortee in the face, no. Like, right at the start of the game, the very fucking start of the game, you're put into a stealth section.
Yep.
But it's not really made clear that it's a stealth section. So, let me finish. So, with my mentality of, oh shit, there's a monster, time to do something about it, I tried to do something about it and died. I was like, okay, I've clearly done something wrong here. So, reload. Watch the monster's pathing for a little bit. Wait until his back's turned to me and go for the kill. And died. I was like, okay. Maybe I need to just wait until it... So like, reload it, watch the monster's pathing again, wait until he was gone, went for the objective, and died. And then I exited the game, and that was a couple of months ago, and I haven't played it since.
I feel like we should stream it this time with you playing and me watching.
No. No.
Like,
do you want to continue being friends?
Like, okay, we already strained our friendship with, like, Helldivers and whatever. And the ROM pit, I think the ROM pit strains
the ROM pit strains our friendship, and it also makes me lose the will to live. But anyway, yeah. So even within, I can't recommend it because I rage quit it after 10 minutes, and, you know... Yeah.
You see, I find it funny because, like, you say, oh, there was no indicator that I was supposed to, like, sneak behind that guy. And I'm just thinking here, it's a giant guy with a fucking chainsaw, and you're hanging, and you have no idea where you are.
Stealth is not in my mood mentality!
Yeah, I'm like... That's kind of like the problem I have.
I see monster, I see red, I want to pull out 2 guns and blow the shit out of it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I knew that before you got the Evil Within, and when you got the Evil Within, I didn't say anything, but I did look at your, like, activity on Steam, and I was just, oh god, does she know that this is part stealth game? Because, like, later on, the game has... like a lot of stealth sections.
You know how like there's a lot of sections in Wolfenstein where there, stealth is an option. I've not stealthed a single fucking one of them. I don't do stealth. Stealth is not in my mentality. And that game gives me 2 fucking guns. Why would I try and be stealthy? Evil Within's like, you will be stealthy now, and I'm like, nah, fuck this shit.
But my kind of approach to stealth is, I'm gonna do my best to be stealthy, but if I mess stuff up, I might as well just kill it. That's kind of my
I don't
mentality.
even fucking try. And I resent being made to.
Well, then you shouldn't play something I played this year for the first time, and it was Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3.
Fuck Metal Gear Solid.
So just like context before this, I played Metal Gear Solid 1 in like 2004. Metal Gear Solid 1. And I played 2 and 3 this year at the behest of friends. And I streamed it. And I have to say, I know why you hate Metal Gear, because the writing in Metal Gear is absolutely horrible, but not in like, oh, this isn't what actual people would say. It's more like...
It's just bad!
No, it's not even like...
it's
long.
Just fucking weird!
It goes on forever. I think that's
it's
like
fucking weird!
Well, yeah, it's weird. It's Metal Gear. That's like a trademark of Metal Gear, like being weird. But no, like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 are actually genius. Like they are genius, legitimately genius games. Especially because... So do you know about the big major controversy that Metal Gear Solid 2 caused when it was released?
Nope.
Have you ever heard?
Fuck Metal Gear Solid.
Okay, you're gonna love this though. I'm gonna tell you this. So, Metal Gear Solid 1 was released, and people went bonkers over it. Best game of all time. Oh my god, this is the reason to buy a PlayStation, system seller, and whatnot. So when Metal Gear Solid 2 was announced, there was so much fucking hype over it. And people saw the pre-release materials, they played the demo, and they were like, oh yeah, Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid is back, he's gonna be like on this tanker, and then he's gonna do this shit and that shit, and all sorts of stuff. And then the game released. And then people went through the same part that the demo was, which was the start of the game, like the first 2 hours. Then all of a sudden, you don't play as Snake anymore, you play as this pretty boy who looks like he came out of El Shaddai, called Raiden. And Raiden isn't cool, Raiden is a dweeb. He actually slips on pigeon poo and falls on his butt. And stuff like that. And it turns out you play him for the entirety of the game. And people didn't know that. People were fuming. This was before, like, there was no leak. That was PlayStation 2 era. People lost their shit over it.
That's
and like
amazing.
This is like they even orchestrated.
Oh yeah, because fuck Metal Gear Solid.
They even orchestrated, like they made fake screenshots of later parts of the game for pre-release material. They made fake screenshots and put in the model of Solid Snake instead of Raiden.
Oh my god.
And the genius thing about that is, like, this is like very hindsight stuff, but now after like, well, people are still upset over it, but now when less people are upset over it, it's actually genius because it subverts everything from Metal Gear Solid 1, because Raiden is essentially Raiden is meant to represent fanboys from Solid Snake, because Raiden idolizes Solid Snake. Raiden was like, oh yeah, he did all the VR training from the the mission from Metal Gear Solid 1, he loves Solid Snake. Solid Snake is the best. Solid Snake is his hero, and he is like a serious person. And then he spends his codec calls arguing with his fiance. like the entire game, she's like, Raiden, do you remember what day it is today?
It's Snake's birthday.
No, he's like, no, I don't know, it's Tuesday. No, Raiden, never mind, it's fine. And then 20 minutes later, so Raiden, do you remember what day it is? Look, Rose, I have no idea what day it is. Okay, is that fine? And then in the end, you find out it was their anniversary.
Oh no!
It's so fantastic. And then the game just implodes. It goes like bonkers, and it starts talking. And this is like 2000 and what year was it? It was like 2001 or something, 2001 or 2002 maybe. Like, it starts talking about information overflow on the internet and stuff like that. It starts talking about things that are themes now. It's so bonkers. And then you have Metal Gear Solid 3, which goes... it's a prequel, it's like an origin story. It's in this, like, during the Cold War era. But that game starts doing, like, super strange gameplay stuff. Like you're fighting a guy who can control bees and shoot them at you.
What?
And you're like, holy shit. Yeah, and you're like, holy shit, how do I deal with this guy? And you, like, can't shoot bees because you have one bullet and bees are, like, 100. And then I think, wait a second, I have a smoke grenade. What happens if I throw a smoke grenade? And then the smoke grenade dissipates the bees, and you're like, and I have a clear shot at you. And it does all this shit. Like, you can take an empty gun. Like, this is a PlayStation 2 game. You can take an empty gun, aim it at the back of someone you sneak up on, and they'll, like, they don't know that it's not loaded, and they'll, like raise their arms, and then you can knock him out.
Nice.
And it does, like, this. It does, like, this shit that you don't expect a game from PlayStation 2 era to do. And it's, like, really, really... It's really good.
I don't really care about it.
Well, I had to say that, okay? I had to say that it's a good game.
Okay,
I got that out of my system.
Okay.
I like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 there. Is the internet happy? But yeah, we're gonna close this off with one game that you like because you can draw dicks in it.
I do enjoy any game where I can draw a dick.
You can draw a dick in any game that has bullet marks on the wall, technically, when you shoot a bullet.
Yes, you can.
But yeah, we played a lot of Drawful this year.
We did play a lot of Drawful this year.
Drawful is good. Drawful is very good. Drawful is, we mentioned it in the previous video, it's a Jackbox party game where it's like Pictionary, except you get very strange prompts.
That mostly allow you to draw dicks.
Yeah, you get like strange prompts like, I don't know, oh, you have to draw a cucumber train, and then you draw a cucumber train, but you draw it on your smartphone because that's your controller, and then you draw it badly because there's no eraser, because whatever you draw stays there, and then other people have to guess what it is, but they also have a chance to write in fake answers. So they write in fake answers that might sound plausible, and then all those answers are mixed together, and people vote for what they think is the real name of that picture. So, like, it's in your interest as a person drawing to draw the best possible picture because you get points for every person who guesses correctly. But if you're not the person who drew it, you have to lie as best as you can because you get points for everyone who picked your wrong answer.
Yeah.
And it's very fun.
Yeah. It is really good fun.
Yeah. If you're with people who aren't, like, don't have the humor of a 12-year-old, like I usually hang out with. But yeah. That's our old games we played this year. Tune in for the next video, which is games we didn't play and everybody told us to, but we were like, no.
Alright. Bye!